Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. I know I sure did, and we also had a pretty successful Black Friday. We engaged in that ritualistic art that, comes along once a year, and to the victors go the spoils. So I'm going to be recording this video actually a couple days early, just because for my uh, personal job, I am on call the next couple of days, and with me doing all these videos in just one take, I figured I didn't want to run the risk of having a potential phone interruption or anything like that. So I'm actually going to be recording this a couple days early, and then we'll post it online, probably Sunday and that, just so everyone can have a wholesome Sabbath. But as you might have saw in our shorts, we actually got two different things that we're going to be opening up for the remainder of November and also early December in that. So we're going to start off though with the Build and Battle Stadium. This is one of the two items that I picked up from my local card store, Cartridges Galore. I linked them in the short that I did. Just if you are a fan of especially retro gaming, collectibles, things like that, it's a great place to go. A lot of really good dudes there. So just kind of wanted to give them a shout out and show them some support because they have done a fantastic job of keeping product in stock, especially during COVID. I'm sure a lot of you probably remember that places like Walmart, Target, some of those big box retailers and that, it was going off the shelves. However, whenever I found out about them, they always had stuff in stock or were always working to get stuff back in stock as quickly as they could. So I appreciate them and just wanted to give them a little bit of a shout out. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get right into this. So this is a Build and Battle Stadium. Pokemon has started doing this not too long ago. I believe it started with Sword and Shield, possibly Sun and Moon. If it was done earlier than that, please feel free to correct me. Just personally, I never saw any for anything prior to Sword and Shield. But these are pretty cool. So what it does is, as you can see, it comes with a couple different decks inside, some promo cards, booster packs, energies, dice, coin markers, just everything you would need to kind of get into playing the card game. For pretty quickly, I will say I do like these boxes. I feel that they have a pretty good bang for their buck. You do get quite a few booster packs. You do also get some promo cards that, if you're on the collector side, they do have the stamp of the set that it's on. And I have noticed that those seem to hold a lot higher value compared to some of the other cards in the sets. Most of the time it's not going to be as high up there as some of your big hits like our Illustrator Rare Roaring Moon that's in this set. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get this open. But yeah, hopefully everybody had a good Thanksgiving. I did with my wife and my in-laws. We had a really good time in that, and then we'll be doing something with my family a little bit later on, just for reasons where we can actually have everyone together. So this here's the Build and Battle Stadium. We'll get that open. Really like the artwork, and I believe they've actually updated these boxes a little bit. From what it looks like, it has more in common with like an Elite Trainer box, which is actually pretty nice. I know I have a few of these that I've kept not sealed but open, but I do keep them just for extra storage space and that. And these definitely seem to be an improvement. So we have two of our Build and Battle boxes here. I believe each one of them comes with kind of their own personal deck, along with some booster packs and probably maybe a few other things. We also have, let's see here, 1, 2, 3 regular packs of Paradox Rift. By the way, everything in this box is geared towards Paradox Rift, but they do these with each subset, so a lot of energies, which I guess you definitely need. It is nice that they do make energies pretty easy to get a hold of. I remember back during the Wizards of the Coast era, and I'm sure even around the Neo series and maybe even into the early Ruby and Sapphire stuff. Outside of buying structure decks, you really kind of only got like one per pack, and I believe it was around the e-reader era where sometimes I believe you weren't even guaranteed an energy. So it is just kind of nice. I know you get a lot of bulk. I mean, this is well probably over 100 energies, but it is nice that for the people who want to play it, you can get your energies and you can also get them pretty affordable. Our fire and poison counters are not fire but burned. And some dice. And also with some damage counters. And that's actually it. So we'll go ahead. We're going to open up the little build and battle boxes here. Let's just move some of this stuff out of the way first. The only bad thing is sometimes they wrap these a little tight. We're going to improvise here with a wine cork opener. Make sure you drink responsibly, especially because I know from looking at the analytics here, since I figured out how to do that, a lot of you are underage. Make sure to, well, shouldn't be drinking if you're underage, but if you are someone who does like to, make sure you always drink responsibly. That is, of course, if you are of legal age to do so. We're not trying to get anyone in trouble over here. But there we go. We'll get the other one open now since we got this out. This thing's basically a multi-tool at this point. You can open your wine bottles and your Pokemon cards. I mean, to me, that's something sent by the Lord right there. But, okay, so we got both of them open, so we don't have to worry about any of that. But we'll go ahead, we'll get into these. So these are also little deck boxes as well, so it does make carrying around any deck that you might make out of this pretty easy. A nice, safe way to collect or store your cards. We'll go ahead and open up both of these, actually. I guess we can always clean that up later. So let's just take a look at this bathroom reading material we got here. So it just looks like it has some building tips on it. And a checklist of everything that's in the set. So now that we've saw them, we can get them out of the way. So we'll go ahead and we're going to set our booster packs off on the side here. But we'll get started with our deck. So for starters, we got one of the Ruin Pokemon. So Chi-Yu, which actually, at first, I'll be honest with you, looking at it, or when I first saw it, it just looked like a little goldfish. I was kind of like, I don't think this is really doing anything for me. But after seeing how powerful it can be in battle, it's definitely won me over. So we'll go ahead, get this open here. We'll take a look at both of the decks. I imagine there's probably going to be a fair bit of repeats with it. I do believe that they try to use a lot of cards. I shouldn't say just from the set that it's part of, but I would imagine, the main idea is to highlight some of the potential cards you can get. And bear with me here while I struggle to open this, completely missing the fact that they had a little spot to make it easier to do. Let's see if we can turn our brain on for the next one. No guarantees, though. There's our code card. I believe this will kind of get you one of these little decks. So we have a Chi-Yu. There's the stamp that I was referring to. So we're actually going to put him off on the side. Some trainer tips. I think just to kind of summarize this very briefly, it probably says don't be like Ash Ketchum. And fire energy. So a bunch of energies in case you need even more energies. Some steel energies. Okay, there we go. So we have a Chi-Yu. Well, several Chi-Yus. Honedge. We are going to do these ones kind of quick just because a lot of people probably won't be super interested in these decks. Aegislash, Doublade, Iron Moth, Elekid, Magby, Clavel, Jacques, Mela, Parasol Lady, Rika, Youngster, Earthen Vessel, Rare Candy, and Ultra Ball. So not too bad. Like I said, these are just kind of built more for, like, you can go to the store automatic, or, you know, buy it for, I think this was around 50 bucks. Granted, it was bought on Black Friday, so that did help me save a little bit on it. But, you know, you get 11 packs and you do get a bunch of cards. So if you are into playing the card game, I do, like I said earlier, believe this is a good bang for your buck. Yeah, here we have a code card, probably for this deck. Xatu. This was actually one of my favorite Gen 2 Pokemon. I was really excited to see it. However, Gen 2 was just not very friendly to it, and I don't believe it was actually that good. But I just love the design of it, and especially with it being found near the ruins where you would get a lot of the unknown. I always thought it was really, really cool. Sure, it was a bummer that it wasn't that great in the game it debuted in, but I believe it has gotten better since. Again, don't be like Ash Ketchum. Our energies here, this time we have a water and psychic themed deck, or I believe this is also now like poison and fairy as well. Wimpod, Golisopod, Espathra, bring it a little closer here to the camera, Flittle, Natu, another Xatu, of course this being different artwork than our other one, Iron Bundle, Bill's Transfer, Jacques, our man Larry. He is probably one of the most relatable trainers, especially as an adult. Nimona, Tulip, Youngster, Megazoa, and the Nest Ball. No luxury balls, though, to flex on the pores, but it is what it is. Those are, by the way, my favorite balls. I know they really don't do anything other than increase friendship, but they're really expensive, and like I said, sometimes you got to let people know what you have. But we're going to go ahead now, and we're going to get into the main event here and crack open some of these packs. I'm just really struggling with opening things today. Everybody's going to be thinking I was using that wine opener for its intended purpose before doing this, but I promise it's only 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But there's the code card. We have Purloin, Mindfu, Ferroseed, Gibble, Gorgeist, Professor Sada's Vitality, Tatsugiri, Joltik, Octillery, and Espathra. Actually, very cool that it has a tulip in the background there. So pretty cool holo. Moving right along into our boy Roaring Moon here. I'd like to see his Illustrator Rare in here. I know we got, when we first did our very first video, actually, of the 2 Elite Trainer boxes, we did get the standard card. Definitely hoping, though, to see his Illustrator Rare. It looks absolutely beautiful. Gimmighoul, Wiglet, Jirachi, Nosly, Rika, Screamtail, another Professor Sada's Vitality, Vanellish, a reverse Jirachi, and a full art Larry. That's awesome. Larry's just such a chat. And we're going to end it on the fire energy. We'll say one of the things I actually really enjoyed about Larry, let's get a better look at this here. One of the things I enjoyed about him was, so he was not only a gym leader, but he was also part of the Elite Four. I do know that we have had some gym leaders move on to the Elite Four, like Koga, for example. In Gen 1, he was the Fuchsia City gym leader. However, in Gen 2, he actually became part of the Elite Four. But it was cool to kind of see Larry take up both of those roles in the same game. And he did, for those of you that haven't played the games, as a gym leader, his preferred type was flying, and then, or I'm sorry, normal. And then whenever he went over to the Elite Four, we got flying. Blitzel, Bond Sweet, Feebas, Dondozo, Tulip, Veluza, Nasil, Apom, and Golisopod to go along with our water energy. Moving right along then into the Garchomp pack, which I believe that's another card I'm hoping to get. We do also have a booster box of this that we'll be opening as well, probably within a week or two. So very excited for that. Especially I've noticed with a lot of these Scarlet and Violet booster boxes, it's definitely a good way if you're okay with paying a good bit of money up front. Gives you a bunch of stuff from the set. Sometimes though, if you are looking for, certain cards or you just want something in particular, I will say a lot of times it is just cheaper to buy it outright. Very nice. So a reverse holo Techno Radar. I do kind of like that silvery pattern we get, plus with some of the additional colors down there. Ferrothorn and Latios. Latios was always my favorite of the two, the other one being Latias. But I think a lot of that is because I initially started with Ruby first, and then I got Sapphire later on. So I will be honest, I am a lot of times more partial to the game that I pick at first, which I'm sure is probably a reason why I have such an attachment to like Charizard, Lugia, Zacian, different Pokemon like that. Spinda, Masquerain, Ancient Booster Energy Capsule, Orthworm, and another Masquerain, this one reverse holo Magby, and a Hoopa EX Terra. Very nice. And this is a Fighting Terra type, so I believe Hoopa is normally a Dark type. I don't know, I haven't actually got to mess around with it, but very cool. He does have two forms. They are known as the Bound and Unbound. Hoopa is a mythical though, and so because of that, I haven't really got to mess with him. I am kind of hopeful that one day Pokemon will make some of these mythicals a little bit more obtainable. A lot of times they are very time-sensitive releases, which I understand. It does make it kind of exclusive, almost rewards people in that for getting into the series and that. However, sometimes not everybody has the option to get into it, and so you do often miss out on them. So hopefully one day they'll make some of those mythicals easier to obtain. Blitzel, Veluza, Technical Machine Turbo Energy, Wugtrio, Simipour, Nimble, and Low Kicks. Very cool. I believe we're about halfway through the packs. Yep, just a little over. So, total of 11. So each little box comes with 4, and then you get an additional 3 packs just for buying the Build and Battle Stadium. Let's get you guys a code card there. Yep. I saw it. Looks like we might have something good. Nimble, Elekid, Vanellish, Onyx, Professor Turo's Scenario. Just out of curiosity, who did you all prefer? Professor Sada or Professor Turo? Again, like I had just said not too long ago, normally I prefer the game that I start with. However, I do actually think I prefer Professor Sada. Kingdra, and what do we got here on the end? Serena EX. Not gonna lie, when I saw that water typing up there, I did get a little excited. I thought we were gonna be seeing our boy Garchomp. But T Serena, it's nice to meet you as well. Very cool card. I do like how with some of these new EXs, especially the ones that do have Terra types with them, just the color of the card does seem to kind of pop. I wish it was something that they did with some of these full arts, kind of with the Hoopa, like the white background. It is nice. It does make the card pop a little bit. However, I think it would be cool to kind of add in some color of the Terra type that you were given. That was actually kind of my chief complaint with the dark Charizard that we got was, I get it, you know, you don't want the card to be too dark, but I do think adding like some black or some purples to it really would have made it pop. But overall, though, Scarlet and Violet they've been on a roll, so these are small gripes we're talking about. Iron Bundle, Techno Radar, Toad School, Gligar, and Kingdra. Coming down then to our last 3 packs, one with Armor Rouge on there. Which Armor Rouge just gives me straight Mega Man vibes, which I'm not complaining about. Actually, I've been replaying a lot of the X series. It's actually something me and my cousins kind of grew up with on the Super Nintendo, was the original Mega Man X, and even still, phenomenal games to this day. Unfortunately, I feel kind of after 4, they go downhill, and they go downhill quick. Dondozo, Veluza, Charcadet, Toad School, and Toxicity EX. Very nice. So overall, not too bad with our little build and battle stadium. Like I said, you only get 11 packs, and so we've gotten 2 full arts and 2 EXs, so not bad at all. See if we can make it 5, just a little under 50%. Code card again. Zubat, Natu, Purloin, Minefu, Mineshao, Rika, Screamtail, Honedge, Mantike, and Groudon. Very nice. I believe we actually got his full art or illustrator rare. They add so many different rarities now, I'm not sure what exactly they are anymore, but I believe we did get that out of our ETB. So very cool. Coming down here to our last pack. One final code card. Flamigo, Porygon, Oricoro, Toad School, Technical Machine Blindside, Crocolore, Technical Machine Evolution, Toxel, Cloth. Channel Sergeant Johnson here and send us out with a bang. Iron Jugulus. Okay, very cool. Very cool card to end on. I know it's only a holo, but still very cool. Especially like the design of a lot of these paradox forms where kind of the card changes colors over. But that is pretty interesting to see it as a normal type there. Because I know in the game, I believe it's dark and flying. It's based on Hydreigon, however, or Hydreigon, sorry about that, which is dark and dragon, so it's kind of interesting to see them change that up. Granted, they did for most of the other paradox forms, but that was one where I thought it still looks enough like a dragon that it could be, but hey, then again, not everything that looks like a dragon is a dragon, so at least in Pokemon terms. But yeah, so overall, pretty happy with this opening, and like I said, we got our man Larry here. We can't be upset about that. But as always, hey, thank you guys for watching the video. If you liked it, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you aren't already. And for those of you that didn't like it and still made it to this point, hey, we appreciate you anyways for sticking it through, and hope everyone has a good week.